Okay, so I saw this 3-bin compost system on Joe Gardner, made out of used pallets. So Chris and I went and got some pallets today. It's designed to be a 3-bin system. I think I'm just going to start with a 2-bin system. So that's going to be 5 pallets total. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. This is my first construction project by myself. Let's see how we're going to do this. All right, we'll try that. So there's my pallets. I'm gonna lay them out the way that I want them and then work to put them together. So the first thing that he mentions is trying to get pallets that are the same size, but the place that we found the free pallets had a bunch of varied sizes. So another reason to go to a 2-bin system as opposed to a 3-bin system. Okay, here we go. Don't judge me. I'll also say that in his video, this was a 2-person job. I'm trying to make it a 1-person job. Thinking he was on to the right idea. Probably help if the drill was going in the right direction. Oh, it is. And I found a nail in the first screw. Good time. What the hell? This was a horrible project. Don't recommend. Here it is. No way this is staying together for a Wyoming winter, so I'm going to find bungee cords because we'll bungee cord it and maybe that'll stay together. Check in on the morning progress. Chris, how's it going?
It blows big time. So we got cross brace on the front panel done and the middle brace, and we're trying to do the two side joists on the top. And I just couldn't get the angle right to meet up with the joists on the frame, so I thought it was the same angle. I had already cut the cross brace out, so I cut that, and it was way too shallow. So then we got out our speed square and thought we knew how to use it with the math teacher over there giving me shit about my geometry skills. And we came up with an answer, but then of course that was 65 degrees, but my miter saw only cuts up to like 48 degrees, so I had to go on YouTube and learn from some girl in her video how to cut more than 45 degrees. So I did it, and I cut it at 65 degrees, and that was too sharp, so that was also wrong. Luckily, I cut it out of a piece of scrap wood, but 60 was the answer, so I got 60 cut on each end now. Now I'm just cutting them the length. Hopefully that'll work. Of course, now I'll have to cut those again for the back piece, but I had to take my blocks off that I used to cut more than 45. But the glue gun we used was shit anyway, so stick very well. All right, so now I'm going to cut this into two pieces. And hopefully that'll freaking work, because at this rate, we're going to get this shit done next July. Guess I should have safety glasses on, but they're in the garage and I don't feel like getting them. All right. We got the two pieces that we theoretically need. Obviously, that thing's crap, so why did you toenailing shit together is bullshit. Sorry for the adult language in this week's video, but it's crap.
I think you need to get some of those zigzaggy things.
I'm not left-handed. I'm just bad at hammering things. I'm just using the wrong hand. This is making me definitely want to build the walls on the floor and stand them up in the basement, as opposed to trying to build them in place and toenail everything together. So. Technically, this is not a level surface. It's the ground. Undulations and tufts of prairie grass in the way everywhere.
Sandburrs.
Who the hell wants to build it on the driveway and then haul it over?
so inefficient.
All right, after an eventful day of not accomplishing as much as we wanted to on the shed, we are headed to the Wyoming game. Where do they play?
I don't know.
We don't remember who they play, but it doesn't matter because they're not very good this year. We're primarily going to watch the band. So tomorrow we hope to accomplish quite a bit more. Both our oldest son and our third oldest son will be coming up for a visit. Maybe we can intrigue them and entice them to help for a little bit. I gave us a 2-week goal to get the shed done before we head back to Ohio for a couple of days. So we're down to about 10 days or so. So we'll see what kind of progress we'll make getting that shed done. You have anything to add?
Utah State
Oh, okay.
playing Utah State, and
Like
they're
it-
also playing. Utah is playing Houston at the same time. So I've got my Utah T-shirt on to go underneath my Wyoming hoodie that I'll put on when we get there. It's too hot to wear when it's dry. Hopefully, one of them won't suck, but based
Yeah, our
on recent
team's not doing
experience,
too good
I'm
this
not
year.
counting on it.
All right, go Pokes. All right, today's project consists of taking one of those old pallets that I did not use for the compost bin and making little platforms for for my Christmas decorations. Stop. Chris is still working on the shed over there. This is our oldest son, Alex, who came to visit today with his yappy dog. So, here we go. I'm going to make Alex hold this. Ways to be slumming them. Hold them. All right, here they are. I've cut all of these with the reciprocating saw. I ended up with 6 platforms that will go on top of the kitchen cabinets to elevate what I think is going to be my Christmas village. But I was looking for an easy solution because there's a lip down on the top of the cabinets, so this will elevate anything that I put on top of the cabinets. Yay me.
All right, so pretty much done for today. It's starting to get dark. So this is the back side of the barn. Obviously, I need to trim off along the roof line on these couple pieces and then cut some little triangle pieces to fit in there, but that is the back. This is the front. Same deal there. I need to trim and fill in those triangle pieces, and then next thing I need to do is build the doors, which are going to go in this gaping hole here. So obviously didn't get that today. I'm going to stop saying what I hope to get done each day because I never get there, but I'm not in a particular hurry. Kim is, because she's trying to get crap out of the basement and into the shed so that we can do things in the basement, but I don't feel the sense of urgency that she seems to, so it will get done when it gets done. So hopefully tomorrow I'll work on the doors, and gotta wait for a day where it's not too windy then to stand the ends up and hook them together and brace them, and then get the other interior frames in. But coming along. All right, a little bit windy here. Hopefully get most of it out. So after some rain the other day for like only the second time since we moved in, and snow last night, it's not melted because it's been up to about 50 degrees today. We've got the front end of the shed completely done. The doors on, hung. The back end also done. Everything trimmed up and everything. So we're ready now to stand both ends up, hook them together with the tie trusses that go along the bottom. But obviously, right, they've got to be braced and everything, and then the other ones will get stuck in between. We'll brace them until we get the sheeting and everything on to, make it sturdy. But these suckers are heavy. There's only the two of us here, so I'm not sure. Plus the front one's facing the wrong way, so it's going to get turned around before it gets stood up. But probably going to have to use the tractor and some straps and some other things to try to do it. Worst comes to worst, if we can't get it done probably Saturday with the two of us, we'll have to go get Aiden in Laramie on Sunday and bring him over, and hopefully the three of us can get them up and hooked together and braced enough so that at least they won't fall over on their own, or unless we get really strong wind. But hopefully this weekend we'll get all the frames and trusses up and tied together. Maybe a little bit of the bottom paneling on so that at least it'll stand while we're in Ohio next week and won't fall over or blow away in the meantime. I got an audience over here of dogs watching me work and criticizing. All right, so probably be a day or two before we have enough time to get them stood up and braced and enough of them up to make it structurally sound enough to leave. But hopefully we'll video that. All right, take two. So we forgot to record while we stood the back of the barn up, had to push it over in place with the tractor and stand it halfway up with the tractor because it weighs a crap ton. and the front's even heavier because the doors are heavier. So the instructions I got are not great because they don't really have a lot of detail, but they do say to assemble the front and the back on the ground and then stand them up, which is probably a good idea if you're Amish and have 100 friends to come over and help you build this thing and stand it up. But with 2 people, I think it would have been better to stand it up and then build it. But we are where we are, so I'm gonna push that piece over and hopefully stand it up and tie them together, and see. Larry would suit. All right, so end of the day today. This is where we are. Stop filming all the work because it's pretty boring. Even a sped up. So we got the frame all stood up. We got the blocking and the subfloor, the floor joist done. And we got basically half the floor in. So we got the 2 middle sections and the front left section. So we got 3 more to do tomorrow, right? They all have to be notched out and cut out around the joist. So that takes a little bit of measuring and cutting with a jigsaw. It's straight-ish, plumb-ish, right? Close enough that once we get the start putting the sheeting on and stuff, we can get it good as we're nailing it in. So pretty good. Got the tractor here still sort of against it just in case we got a gust of wind. It wasn't terribly windy today. It is supposed to be much more windy tomorrow. And I just looked at the weather, and the wind was coming out of the southwest most of the day today. So it was blowing against that solid wall and trying to push it forward. But not that bad. But tomorrow it's supposed to be blowing straight out of the north, which is obviously the complete opposite way. So it's going to be blowing against the front here, and the tractor's not going to be doing anything to keep it from going over because it's on the wrong side. I don't really want to move it around to the back tonight because it's not going to change direction until sometime in the middle of the night. So if I get up early enough, I should be able to move it if I need to before the wind gets too strong. But tomorrow I'm going to try to get the rest of the floor done, and then the next step will be getting the side sheeting on, and that'll get it screwed up and a lot more sturdy, and shouldn't have to worry about the wind blowing it so much. And then I imagine that's about all we'll get done tomorrow. And then right next after that will be the roof sheeting. I think it's going to happen tomorrow, but you never know. So it is about time. We'll have less time tomorrow because the clocks change tonight. So I think they do. Maybe that's next weekend. Can't remember. Anyway, maybe it gets clocks go back tonight. Maybe it's next weekend. But it's definitely much more of a barn tonight than it was this morning. So that's where we are. All right, we'll see if you can hear any audio on this because it's windy as crap. Putting in the last piece of the floorboards. Chris did the cutting. Kim is doing the nailing. Yes, those are Christmas carols on Miriam's phone, even though it's barely November. She does have a problem. Look forward in the next week or two to a video regarding that particular disorder that she has.
Well, if not enough adventure, Chris decided to trip over this bucket and it's now covered in sandburrs. But he's smiling, so otherwise he's okay. It's going to take us the rest of the afternoon to get the burrs out.
Helps if you actually hit the nail. So here we are. Kim's nailing on the penultimate piece of side paneling. It is blowing 14, gusting to 20. You're going to be getting windier as the day goes on. To overnight, basically blowing 20 or 22 and gusting to 30 or 35. So I'm trying to get this paneling done so that we can get some more rigidity to the thing before it gets really windy. Struggling to hit the nail though.
I'm tired.
It's very windy. It's 51, but it says it feels like it's 37 because of the wind. And yeah, so good times. We're almost done with the long pin. Alright, so got all the wall sheeting up. So we've got a halfway enclosed shed. It's going to have to be as good as it is for now because it's just getting windier all night and overnight and into tomorrow until about lunchtime. So next thing would be putting roof sheeting on, but I'm not carrying 4x8 sheets of roof sheeting up on the ladder to try to put on this practically vertical roof side in this wind. So get some bracing on both sides of the joist. So hopefully that's enough to keep everything rigid enough to go blowing off. And I got the tractor parked behind the back wall just in case we get so much wind that it blows the whole thing backwards. That should stop it. Might poke a couple holes in the wall, but eventually it'll stop it. So if the wind dies tomorrow and before it gets dark, I might try to start putting the roof sheeting on. Otherwise we're going to have to wait a little bit.